Treyarch's newest installment on the zombies fighting experience is quite different than the round-based survival genre that we've come to know and love over the years. Rather, this open-world adventure features side quests, mini-bosses, and an exponential difficulty curve that can wreck your week if unprepared. So today, my goal is to help you do just that. Prepare for the onslaught of panzers, the horde of armored zombies, and the chaos put on full display in Cold War Zombies Outbreak. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Skids. And the other day, I made my way into difficulty 10, going solo and flawless without getting a single down in the new Outbreak game mode. And I feel it's my duty to help you all be able to do the same. So if you go on to enjoy any part of this video, please leave a like down below and subscribe for more content, as I'm going to be making more tips and tricks videos around zombies. Be sure to leave a comment down below on what you guys want to know next. Also, this gameplay was recorded and captured live on twitch.tv/skids. So go drop a follow over there. Link will be down in the description below. So there's going to be 5 parts that I'm going to be walking you guys through on your way to mastering this Outbreak Zombies mode. First thing I want to talk about with you guys is your loadout selection. And to be completely honest with you, it really doesn't matter what gun you choose for your loadout. And let me tell you why. You're not going to stick with your gun for that long because A, the salvage drop rates are not high enough to feasibly make sense for you to upgrade your gun all the way from starting tier to gold tier. And B, all the challenges that we're going to talk about here in a little bit really drop you guns that are already better than your starting weapon. And now, I know what you're saying. It really is nice having your own attachments like increased armor damage, increased salvage drop rate, but it really doesn't end up making sense to waste 1500 low grade and 1500 high grade to upgrade your gun, because you really can't do that until about like level 6 or level 5. And at that point, you have to spend 1500 low grade and 250 high grade to upgrade your armor anyway, which is a much better idea because you burn through armor in this game mode, so have a lot of salvage to spare, plus you want 250 high grade to spare in case you need to buy another self-revive or you need to buy a chopper gunner or any sort of streak. So realistically, spending that on your gun isn't really the best idea. Now, for the early rounds and for like round 1, you're still going to want a gun, or if you do end up wanting to take the upgrade route, here's what I recommend. First of all, the Gallo shotgun is absolutely insane in this game mode. It's just insane in zombies in general. Second off, I would recommend running an LMG, such as the RPD or the M60. Now the M60 is a little bit heavier, so you can't run as fast, but there's plenty of attachments. You can do like no stock, you can do other attachments that increase sprint to fire time, and you really want to mobilize your LMG, but utilize the large clip, which is really the most important part of the LMG, and which is why I recommend using it. SMGs and ARs, they're fine. If you feel more comfortable with it, that's your preference, but in all honesty, I recommend the Gallo shotgun or an LMG. Now, when it comes to your field upgrade, if you're a solo, you most definitely want to be running Ring of Fire, and that's because there's so many like panzers and manglers and mimics, so many bonus zombies that you're gonna need the upgraded damage, even if for just a short amount of time. Now, you can run the Ether Shroud. I'd argue that that is totally fine, but that won't come until like round 6, and you can change your upgrade anyway. I actually did it one time before going into a holdout. I changed my my Ring of Fire into an Ether Shroud, and it helped out quite a bit. So that's the nice thing, that you can change your class mid-game and you can change your upgrade mid-game, and it won't change the guns that you currently have in your hand. So keep that in mind, but still run the Ring of Fire, and if you upgrade it all the way with your flawless Ethereum crystals, then you have a chance of getting insta-kill when they enter the ring, and so that's just another barrier of protection. Now, if you're running as duos, trios, or quads, you need at least one person in your game to have healing aura, and I recommend that being the best person in the game, because you don't want the worst person being in charge of reviving themselves with healing aura, because you just can't even do that. So make the best player in your game the healing aura tank. That way you can revive and let your teammates keep their perks if they can't get their tombstone, or they can't or they're not far enough to revive or something like that. And then other than that, you can make the worst person in your game run an Ether Shroud, and then maybe a couple Ring of Fires. You can mix that in as well. But I definitely recommend in in any sort of squad type, you need a healing aura. From the loadout, from the pregame selection into the early game, one thing I want to talk about is that you can take as much time as you want to. That's the beauty of Outbreak as opposed to regular round-based zombies, is you don't have to hold a zombie to get your upgrades to your gun, hit the box, do whatever you want. The zombies just kind of float around and spawn in hordes that don't activate until you get near them. Now, the point drop rate for Outbreak is a lot lower. You get 35 for a crit instead of 115, and you get 25 for a regular kill as opposed to 90, but it is still worth it to get those points and upgrade, and ammo isn't a problem in this game mode. Ammo drops from any sort of upgraded zombie, like a mangler or etc., like I mentioned before, and so you don't ever have to worry about ammo. And if you do happen to burn through and you don't get lucky to get a mangler or a mimic, there are ammo crates around the map that you can purchase ammo very cheap before you upgrade it. I think it's like 500 essence. And another thing you want to be doing early game, activate these as soon as possible, but that's the trials. Now the trials are going to be indicated by the little machine looking thing on the mini map, and you go up there, and just like in other maps, it gives you a challenge that you can complete. You can get anywhere from common to legendary loot. Now the epic or legendary, the purple or gold respectively, tiers can get you a purple gun, and it can also be a pack-a-punch gun with an ammo mod. So if you get an easy challenge, then definitely go for it. These are things that you do around the map anyway, such as, like I said, critical finishers, parachuting, running over zombies, close range, far range kills. All of these things are pretty simple to do, especially when you're in the lower rounds and you're running around anyway. I would recommend triggering these before you start your challenges, and that's a good transition into the challenges, which are the most important thing that you guys need to take note of in Outbreak. So there's 3 different types of challenges. The first type, what is known as a gold chest challenge. And this is a challenge where you activate it and it spawns a bunch of boss zombies around you. Anything from a Panzer all the way down to a Tempest, and it spawns a bunch of other regular and armored zombies as well. And you have to fight off the horde. Now, the good thing is that you can use the entirety of the map. You don't have to be confined into a small area. It does get a little clustered, it does get a little crazy, but if you have a ring of fire, you can melt all the boss zombies super easily. And when you do, when you kill all the zombies, you go back to the golden chest, pop it open, and it gives you plenty of loot. It gives you a lot of salvage, it gives you a tactical and a lethal, a kill streak most of the time, and a gun that is going to be blue or better. Occasionally, it also drops you a perk, so be on the lookout for that as well. That's huge if you can get that round 1. And that's kind of the main reason that I said it doesn't matter what gun you take with you in your loadout, because a lot of these guns that it drops you from the gold chest are going to be phenomenal. They're already at tier 3, and you saved yourself 1,500 salvage. Now, the second challenge type is what's the dragon, and it's indicated by the dragon head on the map. Now, this is pulled from Der Eisendrache. You can see the dragon is the same thing, but he's strapped to a rocket ship that you need to fuel. And however much you fuel it will dictate what prize you get, anywhere from a small chest to a legendary gold chest, the thing that we just talked about. And so it spawns this purple ring around you that you need to kill zombies inside of. Now, the key thing here is it's not if you're standing inside the circle, it's if the zombie is killed inside the circle. You won't get points, ironically, for some of the zombies that you kill inside the circle, but it'll fuel it up, and you can see the gauge here filling up, and if it gets to the top, you get a legendary chest. So be sure to not kill any zombies that are outside the ring. You do not want to pop an ether shroud here because it's a waste of time. They won't come in the circle, and then you just basically burn yourself a challenge and you're going to get nothing. So this one's a little bit trickier because of the fact that it's a confined area, but honestly, I think it's the easiest because it's time-based. If you get overwhelmed, you can just dip out and take whatever reward you get. Most of the time, you're going to get at least a medium chest. And the third and final challenge trial that we're going to talk about, I don't know the official name of it. I'm just going to call it the Hellbringer because that's basically what happens. You summon a radio frequency off of a dead zombie, and you see a cloud form across the map where it spawns down a boatload of boss zombies. Typically, they're going to be megatons or the red megatons, but I've also seen super manglers and a crap ton of tempests. So if you kill them, you're going to get a random perk, which is awesome. So theoretically, if you get a gold chest and a Hellbringer challenge in round 1, you can have 2 free perks right off the bat. Now, it only spawns about 1 or 2 challenges early game if you're solo, and then around like round 4 is when it starts to spawn all of them. and then it will start spawning all 3 around the map. So be on the lookout for those right when you load in. Pull up the mini map, look for the storm cloud, look for the dragon, and look for the box with a skull on it. Now, later rounds, this Hellbringer challenge is going to be giving you the wonder weapons, and that's another reason you need to run this. The 3 wonder weapons, the D-Machine, the Ray K, and the Ray Gun, are all available in this map. Yes, you can get them in the box, but it's extremely difficult. The best way to get them right now is to kill and conquer a Hellbringer mission. So there was one game where about round 5, I finished a Hellbringer mission, and 3 different zombies dropped a wonder weapon. All 3 were available to me. Now, here's where one of my tips comes in. Take the ray gun, leave the rest. You don't want to run 2 wonder weapons, typically because it's tough to get you out of a pinch. And I say the ray gun over the Ray K because the Ray K kind of burns through ammo, especially when the bomb that you have to drop to start shooting at, that one shot takes 10 bullets, and then let alone the next 10 bullets that you have to shoot at it. So that's 20 rounds for just an explosion. Whereas a ray gun is 1 hitting zombies for a long time and 2 hitting zombies all the way through round 10, and pop that with a ring of fire. You basically just take out whoever you want to, and there is just there's no problem with any sort of boss zombies. So get the ray gun and upgrade it to tier 3 as quickly as you can. That's what I did in my round 10 run. Yes, it's a little annoying sometimes. You get caught in a corner in a pinch and you have to shoot at the ground and you take splash damage, but realistically, it's really nice and honestly the best thing you can end up doing. Now, a couple side notes here. This is what I will call the side note section, and this kind of has to do with Tombstone and self-revive. I've seen a lot of questions and seen a lot of confusion around both of these things. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that every time you go down when you have the Tombstone perk, no matter when you buy it, you will lose Tombstone, even if you don't use it and you just get revived normally. The way that losing perks works is typically the perk that you bought first will be kept, and the most recent perks are the ones that are more susceptible to get lost. Sometimes it's random chance and they get mixed up, but Tombstone will get lost no matter what, even if you have all 6 perks and that was the first one you purchased. And so if you get down and you have Tombstone available, do not use your self-revive, because then you'll waste your self-revive and Tombstone will basically mean nothing to you. So at that point, you don't even want to waste the 5,000 points or whenever you bought it, and then you're just burning a self-revive for 250 high-grade salvage. I would recommend using Tombstone if you can, training around, and then you pop yourself with a revive, and then if you have to use your self-revive before the next time you get Tombstone, you have that option available to you. So it's like 2 cop-outs. I will say though that if you don't revive yourself with Tombstone in time and you end up dying, you don't have a chance to use the self-revive. You actually just game over. So be cautious about that. There is a situation where it would make sense to self-revive instead of use Tombstone, and that is when the area around you is way too overpacked with zombies. So you'll pop a self-revive if you see a hole that you can get out. Because you have about a second of immunity off of spawn, you can shoot your way through the gap and then make it to safety. But that's the only time I really recommend using a self-revive before you use Tombstone. If you guys have any questions on that, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to continue talking about this. Or just come into my Twitch channel. I stream Friday through Monday most weeks, and you can just come in, ask questions about zombies and whatnot. And the last thing I want to talk about is kind of the high round strategy. And high rounds here, we're going to refer to 5 and up, because realistically, there's a lot in Outbreak that can be quite problematic. And around like round 4 or 5 is when things start getting super crazy. You get basically 80% armor zombies, you get super sprinters. And so what you want to do is, once you get all of your perks, once you get all of your guns, pack-a-punch, don't even worry about the side quests. Now, use your side quests up until you get everything, because that's the best way to make money. A lot of people have a common misconception where they want to blow through the main quest at the beginning and then start doing the side quests later. No, reverse that. Do all the side quests at the beginning, get your cash, get your free drops, get your salvage, and then once you get all set up, just blow through the main challenges. And I'm going to make another video kind of talking about tips and tricks for each challenge and which one I think is the hardest, because that's just way too much to talk about. So by the time that gets published, if you're watching this by then, there'll be a card up in the top right corner of your screen. Be sure to click that, or the link in the description if you do see that. But that's basically a whole nother video talking about those. And so once you have triple pack-a-punch gun, which costs 50,000 from start to finish, and once you have all of your perks, which costs about 30 to 35,000 from start to finish, then you can just go through and continue on through everything. That's what I started doing about round 6. Is kind of when it took me to do that. So I just went from mission to mission. You don't want to mess around with the side quests if you don't have to, because then you just risk dying. You can pop intel if you want to. You can pop a trial. Maybe you'll get lucky and get something with it, but realistically, just go from point to point. Think of it like a speed run at that point and just see how high you can get. So anyways, guys, those are my 5 main tips and tricks, sort of a beginner's guide to Outbreak, but also these tips are going to get you to round 10 if you use them properly. So again, guys, leave a comment down below if you want any sort of clarification, if you have any recommendations or amendments to the video. I would love to hear them down in the comments. Let me know how you guys are doing. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hop on over to twitch.tv/skids, and I will see you guys on the flip side.
Yeah, inspire you is what I'm trying to do. Man, I came a long way from a couple views. It don't matter about your size of shoes or what you going through. If I could do it, you could do it too.